Hello Internet, my name is Ace and today I'm just going to be doing like a first look at this, well, relatively new, it's not so new now, painting software called Rebelle. And it's new to me. I'd not heard of it before until a few weeks ago, and then I didn't actually check it out until just now. So I've downloaded the demo, and I think on the demo you can only do like small DPI and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, so continue the demo. I don't know. Whatever. So we've got this nice little watermark here. But that's fine. That's just for the demo. I'm going to see if I actually want to purchase this software. And that actually looks awesome. Okay, so this is mainly known for its watercolor powers. It's got acrylics and ink and things like that on it. But it's mainly kind of... just known and appreciated for the watercolor thing. So we'll take a look at the watercolor at first. So down here we obviously have how much water, the loading, so that's how much paint is actually on the brush. If you want not a lot of paint, you go down here and so on, pretty obvious. The pressure, so how hard it would be painting, although it is pressure sensitive. It's kind of like with your tablet or whatever. I'm doing this actually on a Cintiq Companion 2, and however hard you press with your pen, the more pressure or whatever, but this is kind of the limit, I guess. And then the size of the brush. So let's kind of add quite a bit of water. So again, you can change the different, you've got different papers and stuff you can work on. So we'll stay with that one that we have, the watercolor, but let's kind of scribble in here. So the brush is kind of keeping up really well with my stylus. There doesn't seem to be any delay, which I thought there would be in this program, because there's a lot of calculations that's going on. It's working out how wet things are. So it's kind of putting the paint on now. Plus I'm using the Cintiq Companion 2, and I have the screen recorder going at the same time. So if I let go, it should, yeah, look at that. It all starts to dissolve into each other. If you look up here, you can see it all kind of blending together, and it kind of, it just looks great. You can see all the different water droplets. So let's go and add another color in like this. So you can see as soon as you lay it down, actually it's changing the color to a more of a purple, because it's blending the paints together instantly. So let's kind of go here and get more of the pink and kind of run in with the pink, and let's let go and see what happens. Wow, look at all these water effects here. This is cool. I like this. This is pretty fun. So we've got different things up here. We have this here which can tilt the canvas. So you can tilt it a little bit down, and let's, oops. Oh, okay, so you can do it on here as well. So you can tilt it a lot or just a bit. So let's do like an extreme tilt downwards. Let's grab the brush again. Oh, you can see already down here, it's all kind of, wow, that's crazy. Look up here. So let's turn that tilt off. That's awesome. Oh, that's a bit of a pain. There we go. Still getting used to it, so I'm going to be hitting the wrong thing. So look, if we lighten up the pressure, we get like not a lot of paint, not a lot of loading really, and then if we go thick, we get quite a bit. So let's look at this. This looks great. Let's take a bit of the water out. Oh, look, we can see this looks really authentic down here. Let's do a couple of like splashes in here and dots and see what happens. So have we still got the tilt on? No, it's all just kind of running in with one another. And I think this button here, yeah, this button here shows you how wet things are. So what you can do is you can click this button here and it dries everything. So grey stuff means dry, and I think as the richer the blue gets more towards this colour, then the wetter it is. So we've dried that here. Let's take it onto the actual view. So can I just paint normally on top of this now? It still blends in nicely. But yeah, okay, so it's kind of as if I'm just painting on top of not dried because the actual water in real life would activate it again. But okay, let's get a new layer and play around with this a little bit more. So let's put a. So there's not much water in here. Well, about 50% water, and then let's stick the blue next to it and see if they run into one another. Let's kind of have a look at the wetness. So they're both like pretty wet, and you can see that they're running into one another. So let's add this kind of on there like that. Let's just paint into here and see kind of just what happens. So we've got this. Let's add a little bit of a tilt, just a small one, and see this should start running into here. So let's make the tilt a bit more because that wasn't much of a tilt. There we go. It's all kind of blending together, and I think if you lay something down, oh, I've done that again. If you lay something down quickly, then change the color and lay it down again, they're going to be, because it's drying throughout time, they're going to stay wetter. Look, this has gone to a paler blue. That looks really cool, actually. Okay, so that's them moving into each other. So we have this here, which I think we can blur. There we go. That's beautiful. So we can actually, this is the blur. So this is like getting down on the paper and actually blowing in the water. So this here, I think, wets the full canvas. Let's have a look. Yeah. So we can go wet on wet. So let's try that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get to. I don't know why I'm this crazy pink and crazy blue, but I don't know. Let's add quite a bit of water. Let's do like a wash kind of thing. Let's back off the loading a little. Okay, so there's a bit of a delay now between. Okay, there's quite a lot of a delay now. I've upped the size and things, but like I said, I am using the Cintiq Companion 2. Oh, look at that! That's gorgeous. And I am screen recording at the same time. Okay, this is really where it comes into its own when it's wet on wet. This kind of looks like. Oh, look at that! That looks awesome. Let's add some blue in there as well and see how that interacts with one another. Let's stick a blue blob there. Okay, this is really cool. Obviously I'm not painting anything of any worth at the moment. I'm just kind of playing around with the tools. Let's see if we can blur. But this is quite incredible, actually. Right, so let's take a look at some more of the tools. So what's this do? Sponge. I reckon this maybe, does it dry? I think dry down here. Okay, this dries things. So let's really dry this area out. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so that just dries things out. Now we can dry the full canvas, and like we did before, that made it so if we paint on top of it, it's just like painting on top of paper again, even though there's the colour underneath. It's not going to actually morph together with the colour underneath, and if we look at that, it's all dry. And then let's leave it on that view, and let's add some more colour on, like this. So you can see we've got wet colour there, and that's all kind of blending in. Let's tilt the canvas down a bit. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. That is awesome. You can see all the paper grain below. See what that looks like on here. So you've got all the water droplets down here. This is at a very low resolution. This is only 72 dpi. So I imagine at 300 dpi, all of these water effects kind of look a little nicer. Now, if you the kind of advantage to using real watercolors, although there's obviously advantages to using real watercolors, but the advantage we have here over watercolors is that when something is blending together, we can hit, I think, this one, and this dries, keeps it wet but stops the interaction. Now let me show you what I mean. So we've got quite a bit of water. Let's actually stick it on wet paper. So we've got wet paper. I have this pink. Let's brush this in here like this. And then let's grab the blue. Let's brush brush this in here as well. So they're going there, and if I hit this, it stops them like that. And it doesn't dry them. If we look here, the drier than they were, but they're not grey, as if you'd clicked this one here. So now, so you can basically pause it where it is. So if there's something, or say if you had like certain drops that you wanted with the tilt, and you're like, oh no, I just want it to go that far. So you click that, and it stops this here, but still keeps it wet. So if I go to the pink now, I'm brushing some pink around here, this should interact with this as though both are wet. There we go. Oh, we've still got the tilt on. Sorry. Let's try that again. Let's put them in like that. And you can see that they interact as if... Let's turn the loading down a bit, because this is really where watercolor... Look at this. If you're around here, the watercolor... Let's blur this around as well. There we go. You can see all the colour kind of bundling together here. Okay, there's a problem. Rebelle has stopped working. Great stuff. Let's try and open it again. So continue demo. Okay, so that is a problem. But I think it's still somewhat in its infancy. So who knows? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go and have a look at the acrylics. So we probably want a different paper. Let's kind of go with something. Let's go with this. Oh, there we go. Instantly you can see the grain of the paper straight through. That is awesome. Oh, and if you pressing thick, you can see all the brush strokes, and you can move them around with further ones. That's great. It reminds me of Art Rage. You can do that in Art Rage as well, but this kind of feels more realistic, more like... So you can add water to your acrylics, as you can obviously in real life. Let's see how that works. Let's add quite a bit of water in there. See if it... Again, when it might not come through, but when you're painting it, it feels very realistic. It feels like you're painting with this very gloopy, watery paint. That's awesome. That's 100%. Oh, you can see if you're looking. Oh, look at all these brush strokes. They kind of blend together. That's nice. So let's see if we can emulate kind of dry brushing things. So let's turn the water all the way down. Turn the loading down. Yeah, that's quite... That's really good, actually. I'm hoping that the crashes are not a frequent thing. I don't know if it's got some kind of auto save. Oh, well, obviously not, because it didn't ask me with the last one, but maybe in the full version. Not sure. So let's turn the loading down. Let's really dry brush that in there. This feels... The problem with digital painting a lot of the time is it's not very inspiring. It feels like you're pushing pixels around, which of course you are. But so it's sometimes hard to feel. There's something like a romantic feeling you get when you paint it with actual real paints, and you can smell the paints, and you've got the feel of the texture and stuff. And sometimes it's hard to feel as inspired when using digital tools. But this feels very inspiring, which I think that's probably the best thing I could say about a piece of software. It makes me want to draw or paint. I'm gonna actually do... I did a pencil sketch, which you can see on Facebook, facebook.com/AceConnell, or twitter.com/AceConnell, of the mask, with Jim Carrey as the mask. And it was a caricature that I did, and it's kind of like a pencil rendering, just cross-hatching. I was just playing around with cross-hatching. And what I might do is I might fully paint him up in using this, depending on how reliable it is. If it keeps crashing and stuff, then I don't know. I'm just going to have to keep pressing save, but I'm going to take for granted that that's not a common occurrence. Take for granted, that made no sense. I'm going to take with a pinch of salt, whatever. Okay, so that feels like painting. I'm not kidding. So this stuff here is the blender, and I've never used blending in, or smudging, that'd be smudge probably, in Photoshop or Paint or anything digital, Procreate, anything. So, because I like to see brush strokes, and I like to really render things out. And oh, that's cool that you get the texture. Okay, I like that. That's cool. Okay, I may play around with the blender. That's nice. That feels like you're smudging around paint. And I don't know if you saw there, but the paint actually is that undo? There we go. The paint, look, it actually smushes the actual paint around. That's really impressive. Let's have a look at this. This is all. I'm in love with this program. Everyone goes on about the watercolors, but I've not really seen many people talk about the acrylics. But that's quite impressive. So let's move on and see what's this. It feels like a pastel. Yeah, it feels as you would expect. Let's pastel. Yeah. Turn the pressure down. Let's turn the pressure all the way down. See what we get. This feels great. This feels like using pastels. Let's see if we can blend two colours together. So let's turn the pressure down. Let's get our horrible pink. Well, it's not horrible pink, it's just a garish pink. This whole thing looks like shorts somebody would wear in Saved by the Bell. Right, okay, so let's turn the pressure down there. Let's really blend those in. Let's see what the blender does on when using these. Okay, it just feel like when you put your finger and rub on pastels. This is good. I'm a fan. I'm definitely going to do a big piece like that mask caricature. I'll fully paint it up using the acrylics, and I'll see what kind of thing I get. So let's kind of get a grey for the pencil. Okay, the pencil feels... What does the pencil feel like? The pencil feels more like if you're using a technical pencil. That's kind of what it feels like to me. If in reality he was using a technical pencil. It's not the nicest digital pencil I've ever used, but it's definitely good enough to kind of sketch and play around with. Let me draw that duck that I drew the other time. I can't remember how I drew it, but yeah. So actually, I don't mind the pencil in this. I kind of like how loose the pencil feels in Sketchbook Pro, so I kind of a fan of that one. I'm not a fan of the pencils in Photoshop and stuff like that. So rough sketching like this is pretty. That's fine. I can maybe get used to that, actually. I don't mind it. Yeah, that's fine. It's as you'd expect from a digital pencil. So let's look at the ink. Let's go black with this because it's ink. Now let's change the paper to a more... there's nothing that's kind of looks a bit less coarse, maybe. Right, now this feels... Okay, it keeps up very well, even with the screen recording going. This is very... Rebelle has stopped working again. This may be a bit of a problem. So there's no restore your last work. I know you should get into the habit of saving, but that's shouldn't be the point, I don't think. I do save very often, but I don't think you should have to rely on that. Is it because I was going fast, or... I don't know. It keeps up well, even if it does keep crashing. Oh, so you can see the ink kind of bleeds in as well to the paper. That is interesting. So it's going to be less for comic book inking, I feel. It's going to be more like sketchy inking, where you'd maybe ink and then watercolor on top of the ink, under the ink, whatever. So let's ramp the water up, and I wonder if you can get some kind of like ink washes going. That bled very nicely. I like that. Let's see. So if you can do kind of like ink washes and things like that, and can maybe do some portraits that way, I'll try that. So let's kind of blend them in, see if they're mixed together. That's kind of, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I reckon you could get some good effects. Yeah, this software is great with the water. It's really where it excels there. Look at that. It's just, that feels awesome. Let's put that near and see what happens. Let's see if we tilt the canvas, if that takes effect. Yeah, you can see here. Look at all that running into each other. That is awesome. The water effects on this, I've never seen anything as great as this. I've used Corel Painter, and I don't get on well with the watercolors in Corel Painter. But it may be just because I've not spent enough time in it. Right, so let's take a look at the next tool. This video is getting kind of long, but I'm just having loads of fun. This software feels great. That's what I will say. If you want to try software, if you want to try it out, I mean, grab this demo. This feels great. The only thing that's been annoying so far has been the fact that it's crashed 2 or 3 times on me. So this kind of, these are obviously markers. It feels a little bit, I've got a full set of Copic markers, in like real ones, not digital ones. And yeah, this feels the least, mind you, if you're working like, this feels the least like using that medium, which is weird because I don't know why it's weird, actually. I was going to say because the other ones use a brush and they felt more like I was using a brush than a marker when I'm holding something that feels like a marker. Okay, well, it's okay. You could definitely work with it and get some definite Copic results with it. It just doesn't feel like using a Copic. That's what I'm saying. Let's see how they blend, because obviously the famous blending stuff of the Copics, and not just Copics. There's tons of other markers, the Prismacolors and stuff like that, which I've not actually used. The Prismacolors, I've just got Copics. So I hear better things actually about the Prismacolors from time to time. So maybe it's probably like everything. It's maybe just individual preference. So we've got the blender thing here. I'm not quite sure what these things do, but let's try them. So this would be like using a colorless blender on with the Copic markers, I assume. So let's kind of stick that in there. You know what? You can get some really good stuff with this. And I know I'm just playing around and not actually doing anything of worth, but I reckon I'm definitely going to. It's inspiring, this software. It's making me want to make stuff. And the reason why it could be questioned, it could just be because I'm pushing my computer hard. I've got the screen recording software going and stuff like that. So this is like a graffiti can, or okay, this is the airbrush. It says down here. So let's get our garish pink. This is cool. This feels like this feels like using an actual airbrush. I've never actually used one digitally that feels like really this. Yeah, this feels good. Oh, so they're like different kind of, I guess, splatter types. So this is a tighter one. Different kind of grains. What's this? That's just the kind of, that feels more like using the kind of boring Photoshop-y kind of ones. But when these ones, this feels great. Let's try and blend with these then. This feels nice. And what happens if you press the okay, the wet thing on this? This feels great. This feels like using an airbrush. I've not used an airbrush a lot in real life. I've used it a little bit. Did a few caricatures and stuff with one. But This feels good. Now let's turn the pressure down a little bit for the blending. Okay, let's add the blue in. Let's turn the pressure right down. Okay, this is cool. Let's see what the kind of blendy thing is like. Yeah, it's. I mean, this is cool. The airbrush that feels good. I mean, like I say, I'm no expert with an airbrush, so this is the eraser. This is cool. This can you get it? Let's turn the pressure down a little bit. Oh yeah, this is an actual eraser that you could probably get really good effects with. And turning that like right down and bringing the texture out in the paper. So let's soften it up, enlarging it a little bit. Yeah, this is cool for bringing the paper texture out. This is great. So let's up the pressure. Okay, up the pressure and it feels like a digital eraser. But if you're light with it like this is cool. I wonder what happens if you use watercolor and let's just try mixing a few things together. So we've got the watercolor. Let's put some water in there. Let's do a wash. Let's have like mid-loading. Again, this is dragging like a lot. You can see where my pen is. You can see how far this is dragging. But again, I'm using big brush. It's doing a lot of calculations, and the screen recorder's going. So if you're wondering which model Cintiq Companion is, it's the top one. It's the i7 with the 512 gigabyte hard drive and the 16 gigabytes of RAM. So just for if you want to know how this runs. But again, this is using screen recording software. Do we have the tilt on? Yeah, we have the tilt on. Let's take the tilt off. I love these watercolors. This is great. There is like you can add water as well with this. If you add water around the edges, hopefully it'll spill out into it. Maybe not. So take a look at the. Oh yeah, it is spilling out into it. Sorry. That's okay. So what if, like, let's try and do this as if we was painting with watercolors. A lot of the time you can. Let's have a look at the wet thingy. You can just lay water down. So this is just laying a patch of water down. Stick one here, like this, and it's probably drying now. Yeah, look, you can see it drying. This is cool. How's it look? You can't even see it like that, but so let's add that in like this. Then let's grab the brush and sprinkle some water in here and here and here, and let's see how they interact. Let's see if it bleeds out into the water. It does. This looks great. Now let's maybe blur a bit here. Okay, what is going on now? I pressed some button on my pen and it's not happy with it. There we go. I've not set up the shortcuts for the pen or anything. Look at that when you blow it. This is cool. This is lovely. This is real like relaxing. I imagine like if you've had a pretty bad day and then you just want to sort of chill and paint, but you can't be bothered to wash things and get the paints out. This would be really relaxing. This feels great. This feels awesome. So, like, we painted the water in. Now this will be drying, so let's add some in now, even though it's dried a bit. So you can see, look, it's still spilling out, and it goes to the edges as it would in reality. This is something else, this software. This software is great. I can't wait to do some actual proper watercolor paintings and acrylic paintings and everything like that. So let's see how things mix. So let's add some acrylics into the mix. So we'll add a bit of water in there. Let's paint on top of here. Like so. Let's add our lovely pink. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. You could get some really cool mixed media things going, I reckon, with this sort of stuff. yeah, I'm actually. It's very, very rare a piece of software blows me away and actually makes me want to create. I mean, I create because I need to create. Well, not because I need to, because I want to create. But it's because I want to create rather than the thing I'm using makes me want to create. That makes no sense whatsoever. But it's the same feeling I get when I'm working with traditional media. So let's have a look at the water here. Let's add some water all around here like this. Let's do like a circle. Like that. Then let's put some acrylics on. Oh, okay, I need to see where my water is. Let's put some on like this. And see how they spread. Yeah, this is good. This is cool. I like this. Let's try a circle of water with the watercolor brush. So we've got the circle of water. We've got the brush. Let's add this. Let's add this. And then let's see how it looks. I like this. I am a fan. I'm a definite fan. And like I say, I need to explore and actually create a painting from start to finish, because I may have a different feeling about that when I've actually used it. I may not like it, or I may like it even more. So again, we've added the tilt on here. So this I'm a fan. I'm a definite fan. I'm going to buy the software. I'm going to buy the software now and see what I can create with it. Look down here, all these colours kind of just blending into each other. Look at this, how it spreads out. So let's click this button here on the right, and then we can pause it like this. So I like how this looks. Now, again, that's an advantage to watercolor, which sometimes, I mean, the better you get, the less the guesswork. It's less guesswork, but there's still some guesswork with how things are going to integrate with each other, and you can just kind of pause it when you get the actual niceness and keep it wet. So now let's go back in on top and let's add some blue on top of that and see how that just, yeah, this is cool. Right, anyway, I feel like I'm just going on and kind of just marveling at this software at the moment. So let's just pause that there. Yeah. Let's yes, I recommend just download the demo. It's free. I mean, the demo was normally, when you think about Photoshop, it's like a gigabyte, 2 gigabytes. I don't know how big it is. I think the download was like, it was a zip file, but it was like 40 megabytes or something. And in that was the Mac demo and the Windows demo. So it's a very light software. And I'm a fan. That's all I can say. I recommend you try the demo. If you like it, then buy it. I'll try it on my Mac as well. See how it runs on there, and I will see about the whether in the full version you're still getting the crashes, and whether I still get the crashes when the screen recording's off. And I'll get back to you on that. And if anyone's used this and has experienced crashes or workarounds for the crashes, just let me know in the comments below. So please tickle my down belows, click the like buttons, click the subscribe buttons, and you can see more videos like this when they come out. I'll be painting a full mask painting in in this software, hopefully. Whether I might use this, I might use Painter, but I think I'm going to use this actually. I might use Outrage. I don't know. Let me know what you want me to use, and you can see that. And I've got videos coming out all the time on perspective, construction, everything like that. So yeah, just subscribe, and it's nice to have you on board. So until next time, I'll see you later.